One of these books, I totally, absolutely, 100% believe started genealogy the way it stands today. It gave everybody the idea to start pursuing their genealogy. I absolutely believe this book did it. Did it mean that? Yes, I absolutely believe that this book created genealogy as we know it today. Because if it got people thinking about their genealogy and their ancestry trees, and it took a while. It took about 20 years, but it slowly people started researching their family trees. So we'll get to that book. This is my top 10 historical novels. And some of them are controversial, but they have all stood the test of time. And believe it or not, they are either all movies and or TV shows. They've been around a long time, and these are the top 10 historicals. So welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Kairos, Tina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, no fancy schmancy stuff going on here. And I've got some shout outs. Leaf Sonata and Selena, and Trudy, and Z-Book. They've been very nice in watching my videos. I'm very much appreciative. And beware, my sinus drip is massively bad today. So, all through the video. Sorry. But the first couple are pictures. I think. Yeah. What's that one? Okay. Okay. So, the first two are pictures. And the last time I said I was putting pictures up, the pictures didn't end up. And I was thoroughly, absolutely 100% embarrassed. So, pictures! Chrissy put pictures up. Okay. The first book, The Winds of War. The Winds of War is a historical novel by Herman Wouk, first published in 1971. It's the first two books that Wouk wrote about World War II, the sequel being War and Remembrance. The novel follows the experiences of Victor Pug Henry, a U.S. Navy officer, and his family in the years leading up to and during the early part of World War II. The story begins 6 months before Germany's invasion of Poland in 1939 and ends shortly after the attack in Pearl Harbor in 1941. The themes are: the novel provides a detailed depiction of the political and military events leading up to the United States' involvement in World War II. It explores the personal lives and relationships with the family, highlighting the impact of the global events have on individuals. And it was a mini series. This is an excellent book. That's book number 1. Book number 2 is also a picture. Picture, Chrissy! Hey, Chrissy, put a picture up. Sentinel, James A. Michener. Written to commemorate the bicentennial in 1976, James A. Michener's magnificent saga of the West is an enthralling celebration of the frontier. Brimming with the glory of America's past, the story of Colorado, the Sentinel State, is manifested through its people. Lame Beaver, the Arapaho chieftain and warrior, and his Comanche and Pawnee enemies, Levi Zendi, fleeing with his child bride from the Amish community, the cowboy Jim Lloyd, who falls in love with a wealthy and cultivated Englishwoman, Charlotte Seacombe. Incentivable trappers, traders, homesteaders, and gold seekers, ranchers, and hunters are brought together in the dramatic conflicts that shape the destiny of the legendary West and the entire country. It was first published in 1974. The novel traces the history of the plains northwest Colorado from prehistory. You want to come up here? Are you coming? Are you coming up? I got brush. um, the novel explores the interaction between Native Americans, European settlers, and other groups. Great book. Absolute great book. Okay. I think that's the last. I think. Don't hold me to it. Okay. The next book. What? You know, just poked my cat in the eye. I put my hand down to pick up the book, and her head was there. Well, come up here. Come up here. Okay. Larry McCurdy. When this is if then 52 or 3. Um, so Lonesome Dove. Journey to the dusty little Texas town of Lonesome Dove and meet an unforgettable assortment of heroes, outlaws, whores, ladies, Indians, and settlers. Richly authentic, beautifully written, always dramatic, Lonesome Dove is a book to make us laugh, weep, dream, and remember. What's the back say? The same thing. Look how thick this is. That's another thing that all these books have in common. They're thick. They're huge. They're huge books. All of them. The Pillars of the Earth. Ken Follett. Look at this. Jesus Christ. Um, The Pillars of the Earth tells the story of Philip Prior of Kingsburg, a devout and resourceful monk driven to build the greatest Gothic cathedral the world has known, of Tom, the mason who becomes his architect, a divided in his soul of the beautiful, elusive Lady Alina, haunted by a secret shame and a struggle between good and evil that will turn church against state and brother against brother. The novel revolves around the construction of a grand Gothic cathedral in Kingsburg Bridge. It spans several decades and follows the lives of multiple characters, including Tom the builder, Philip the monk, Elena the noblewoman, and Jack the talented young builder with the mysterious past. The novel highlights the determination and ambition of its characters as they strive to achieve their dreams despite numerous obstacles. It explores the dynamic of power both within the church and the feudal system and the corruption that often accompanies it. The personal relationships between characters are central to the story, with themes of love, loyalty, and betrayal woven throughout. Oh, look who showed up. Look who showed up. Now, this next book has been made mini a mini series and 2 movies. So it's been done 3 times. Yes, ma'am. You want this. I know. I know. Don't move your head. I don't want to poke your eyes out. I so I had to go digging. I don't know why. I don't know how old my copy is. I don't know why the jacket is not missing. I don't know why. So I bought another copy just to be able to show the picture. But this was my I have no idea. I don't remember. I don't remember what happened to the uh jacket that went with this. 1975, first edition. but for our purposes, we'll show the one with the picture on it. But this is, like I said, 2 movies and a miniseries. And Richard Chamberlain, I believe he did a couple of these books. Um, this is James Cavell's Tour de Force, an epic saga of one plot major John Blackthorne and its integration into the struggles and strife of the feudal Japan, both entertaining and incisive. Shogun is a stunningly dramatic recreation of a very different world, starting with the shipwreck on this most alien of shores. The novel charts Blackthorne's rise from the status of reveled foreigner up to the heights of trusted advisor and eventually samurai. Yeah, Richard Chamberlain did this. The miniseries way back when. Way back when. The novel follows the adventures of an English navigator, John Blackthorne, who is shipwrecked in Japan. He becomes embroiled in the political and cultural upheavals of the time, particularly the power struggle between the daimyos, the feudal rulers, and the influence of European traders and missionaries. You just want to brush. Go ahead. No biting. Intermission for cat brush. This side. I gotta clean this out. Okay? Okay. Now, this is cute. This was a cute one. I don't know why. There's a lot of stuff on this one. I don't remember it being this small. Thornbirds. The Thornbirds is a chronicle of 3 generations of Clearys, an indomitable clan of ranchers carving lives from a beautiful, hard land while contending with bitterness, frailty, and the secrets that penetrate their family. It is a poignant love story, an epic, powerful echo of struggle and sacrifice, a celebration of individuality and spirit. Most of all, it's the story of Cleary's only daughters, Meggie and the haunted priest, Father Wright, the brisket, and the intense joining of the 2 hearts and souls over a lifetime, a relationship that dangerously oversteps boundaries of ethics and dogma. You know, I just thought of an 11th book. I just thought of an 11th book. Hey, Smokey, run upstairs and go get the book for me. The Thornbirds by Colin McCann is an epic novel first published in 1977. It spans over 5 decades following the tumultuous lives of the Clearys, who worked on a sheep station in the Australia outback. At the heart of the story is the complex and forgotten love between Maggie Cleary and Ralph de Brissart, a Catholic priest torn between his ambitions in the church and his feelings for Maggie. Again, Richard Chamberlain played the priest. It was epic. The central romance between Maggie and Ralph explores the tension between personal desires and societal or religious obligations. Ralph's devotion to church and his career in the clergy prevent him from fully embracing the feelings for Maggie. Many characters in the novel grapple with what they are willing to sacrifice in pursuit of their ambitions or their happiness of others. Father Ralph's rise in church is marked by sacrifices in his personal life, while Maggie endures her own sacrifices for her family and love. The Cleary family dynamics are deeply explored, focusing on loyalty, duty, and the burdens placed on individuals by familiar expectations. Fee, Maggie's mother, is an example of a character who endures a life of hardship out of duty rather than passion. The legend about a bird that sings the most beautiful song while impaled on a thorn symbolizes the novel's central characters and their pursuit for unattainable ideals, often at great personal cost. The Thornbirds. So, Smokey, you want to run upstairs and get that other book for me? I um uh this next book uh starred Patrick Swayze. Oh, they were so cute back then. They were all so cute. The cast was absolutely adorable. Oh, they were just so cute. They were. The Hazards and the Mains. Oh, and what was his name? Wait a second. So, Patrick Swayze played the lead. Christy Alley was in it. James Reed, Leslie Ann Down, Terry Garber, David Carradine, George Stanford Brown, Philip Casanova, Jeannie Francis was in this. These were awesome. Morgan Fairchild, Robert Goulet, David Ogden Stiers. They were all in this miniseries way back when. Ah, we have North and South that starts it off. And I forget which order. Heaven and Hell, Love and War. It's a trilogy. It's a trilogy. But to me, these all count as one book to me. I put these as one book. They were so cute. From master storyteller John Jakes comes the epic story of two families, the Hazards and the Mains, like the Hatfields and the McCoys. Separated by vastly different ways of life, joined by the unbreakable bonds of true friendship, and torn asunder by a country on the brink of bloody conflict that would invariably change them all. They fight on Patrick Swayze's character fights for the Union, and the Hazards fight for the South. Um, the story centers on the friendship between Ori Main and George Hazard, who meet at the United States Military Academy at West Point, despite their different backgrounds and the growing tension between the North and South and the bond they form. But also because of the political stuff, they end up getting separated. But it's worth watching. They're so cute. They were so cute back then. And, I watched these all when they were first out. All originals. All of them. How's it going there, ma'am? How's it going? Okay. This other one. Now, this is what made me think I should have brought my other one. I didn't bring it. But if you have not watched my Beatrice Small, Sky O'Malley videos, please go check those out. That book should have been in this list, but it's not. I didn't think about it till just now. But I always say that Claire Beecham Randall Fraser can't hold a candle to Sky O'Malley. Sky O'Malley went through so much more. So much more. Sky was raped a couple of times. She was married 4 times, 7 kids. You gotta check those books out. Go check out my videos. What the Queen Elizabeth does to her butt is something terrible. But speaking of Claire Beecham Randall Fraser, she's a nurse in 1940. She goes back in time to the Stones, meets James Fraser. They fall in love. She spends a couple of years with him. The big war comes on at Culloden, and she turns out to be pregnant, and because of conditions, she has to go back to modern times so that the baby would live and have a better chance of survival. So she does that. She goes forward and then she goes back. But it's a TV series right now. You can go buy the DVD. It's awesome. The series explores the complexities and consequences of time travel as Clara navigates life in the 18th century while retaining her 20th century knowledge. The depth and endurance love between Claire and Jamie is central to the series, highlighting details of loyalty, sacrifice, and resilience. And Diane Gabaldon does a really good job with the language, the historical society, traditions, the culture, the costumes, everything. These are awesome, awesome books. There's 9 in the series now, and she's currently working on book 10. But the romance between Claire and Jamie is a key focus, exploring themes of love, commitment, and challenges of navigating love in a vastly different world. The series develops into real historical events such as the Jacobite uprising and provides detailed descriptions of the 18th century life. Claire is a strong, independent heroine who defies traditional gender roles in both time periods by taking on difficult situations. And she does quite a few surgeries in both time periods. But this is an awesome series. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. If you didn't see this coming, you shoulda. Gone with the Wind. This is a movie. And it had a lot of cultural uh, stereotyping situations going on. But you have to remember, this was literally 100 years ago. And that's amazing. Don't you think that's amazing that this book was written and it was a movie in 1939? And it still stands the test of time today. It's still being broadcast. The book is still being read today. It's awesome. It stood the test of time. Margaret Mitchell's epic saga of love and war has long been heralded as the great American novel. Gone with the Wind explores the depth of human passion with the indelible depictions of the burning of fields and cities of Civil War and Reconstructionists in America. The two main characters, the irresistible, tenacious Scarlett O'Hara and Brett Butler. Margaret Mitchell gives us this timeless story of survival and two of the most famous lovers in the English-speaking world since Romeo and Juliet. The novel centers on Scarlett's romantic pursuits of Ashley Wilkes, who is married to his cousin Melanie Hamilton, and their subsequent marriage to Rhett Butler. It explores themes of love, war, survival, and the transformation of the Southern society. And it won the Pulitzer Prize. The novel was adapted by a highly successful film in 1939 by Victor Fleming. The film stars Vivien Leigh as Scarlett O'Hara, Clark Gable as Rhett Butler, Leslie Howard as Ashley Wilkes, and Olivia de Havilland as Madeline. And it won 8 Academy Awards. This is an awesome movie. But there are some cultural conflicts. As with the final book in our heritage here. And this is the book that I believe started the genealogy craze that exists today. It gave a little hint, it gave a little nudge, and it started people thinking, who are my ancestors? Who are my grandparents? Who are my great grandparents? What did they do? It started it. It was just the little flame that ignited what genealogy is today. It slowly, slowly, slowly grew. It slowly, by 1990, it was getting more popular. We had Roots Web startup and computers startup and the internet startup, and it just started building and building. And along comes Ancestry, along comes Family Search. They become bigger and bigger. I'm telling you, this is the little flame, the little strike of the match that started the whole thing. Now, there's a lot of stuff in here. And my child's here. Are you sleepies? She's sleepies. She's sleeping. The I dropped my pen. There's a lot of cultural stuff in here. There's a lot of this book packs a lot of baggage. And it was LeVar Burton's first role. Mr. Star Trek, Georgie LaFord, his very first role. It had ton of well-known actors in it. Every name, this cast was so large that every name that existed was in this movie. It's huge. George Stanford Brown and the guy that just died from Good Times, the father, he was in it. Sean Cassidy was in it later on in one of the later things. Jeannie Francis, I believe, was in it. I think everybody was in it. This was a huge effing movie. Huge. Huge. I remember reading the book in one day. I sat down in the morning and I read it during commercials. All 800 pages of it. Roots. We've got part 2 over here too. And I can pretty much tell you this one of the Kunta Kinte's early life in Africa, his capture, his journey to America, and traces the lives of his descendants, culminating with Alex himself. Which was adapted into a highly successful television miniseries in 1971, which was watched by a record-breaking 130 million viewers. The miniseries won 9 Primetime Emmy Awards and remains a significant cultural milestone. It started genealogy. I swear it started genealogy. So those are my top 10 historical novels that I recommend for reading. And my sleepy kitty over here. And if you get a chance, check out Beatrice Small's Sky O'Malley videos that I did. Because that would be book 11. That would be my 11th book in the series. Yes, ma'am. So that is Friday. I hope you watched Star Trek Next Generation recap this morning. And don't forget to check out, I forgot to bring it over, Flashback Monday, where we talk about all the books in Romantic Times Book Review magazine. Yes, ma'am. What? The brush. The brush. My brush. Mesmerizing. Have a good one.